Any opportunity to celebrate, it's always diamonds up.
All right, let's try that again. Welcome back. Good morning. King Chef Los, shout to you. Good morning to everyone. Coffee's on deck. That's right. And we're back. We're back. We made it. Okay. Round of applause to Streamlabs for being so amazing. So amazing. Okay, we made it. Thank you guys for bearing with the technical difficulties. Yes, Anush, it works. You know, computers have a mind of their own sometimes. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Your webcam might work, it might not work. Your chat, you know, widget might work, it might not work. But I do think this is a Streamlabs thing, so I'm gonna switch to OBS because we can't afford to lose that much time. But I appreciate you guys for joining in. We had a little shaky start, but we're here. Mr. Griffin, I see you. What up to you? What up to you? Yes, sir. Hue of blue behind the walls. There is a hue of blue, right? That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Do you guys like the lighting in here? Is it good? Quality is good? I'm trying to improve the quality in here of the visual and the audio. So I'm open to any feedback you guys have to make this the best experience possible for you guys, because you know, I want to keep doing this with you guys. I want to continue to have really good conversations here. I think we have been covering a lot of really cool things, and it's only been 5 streams officially, and I think we're doing good right now. So first, I just want to say, hit the subscribe button. If you guys are chatting in the chat room right now, that means that you're subscribed, so I appreciate you guys. But hit the like button, hit the bell icon, And after this video is over, make sure you comment on the repost too. All these things help the YouTube algorithm to let YouTube know that I'm here and we're here, and this is, something that you guys want to continue to experience. So we have to let YouTube know through the YouTube algorithms. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. So yeah, man, we basically lost like 40 minutes, which is fine. I wanted to get this in and try to fit in another stream today. We're gonna stream again tomorrow as well. But the streams have been great, and if you haven't noticed, after 24 hours of every stream, when we post the replay up, we have everything in chapters. So we have YouTube chapters, so you can actually skip to whatever parts you want to watch, and it's all listed in the description of like what we talked about, what part of the video, and then you can skip over to just certain conversations, which I think is going to be extremely useful moving forward, just so you guys can play back, and if you miss any moments, you can go back to them. So we're going to be doing YouTube chapters for all the videos. After 24 hours, the YouTube chapters will be in there. So if you missed any of the streams, you can go back and watch them. And I do really believe that a lot of this content is evergreen, meaning it'll be around and be relevant topics for a long time. Like, this is not a like gossip channel where we're going to be doing current events. Like, there's a time and place for current events, but the current events format tends to be really in and out, right? Because if you're not talking about current events, no one cares. And so if I'm talking about last week's news, it's too old. You guys aren't going to care about that. No one's going to care about it. And I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in numbers or manipulating, the audience to do anything, right? I might plug in certain things here and there, but that's a natural, organic thing to do. But my goal for YouTube here is not to do any of that. I'm not here to play any of those games. I'm a full-time music producer. I make a living from producing music, and I am here on YouTube to be of service to you guys. And I know that, I've said that plenty of times in the past. I've said it on podcasts, and really that was also, the idea behind when I was doing my podcast, Blap Chat, which I definitely miss. But I'm here to be of service to you guys. You can watch this for free, or you could become a Blap God member and take things to the next level, just like RJC here and a handful of you guys. That'll definitely support the channel and also get the algorithm going so that we can get more people in here and hopefully help more people and change more lives, right? I feel as though a lot of these conversations that we're having and we're about to have could really change someone's life and make an impact. Like, we can talk about something today and then 2 years later someone watches it because it's evergreen, and the subject matter is still relevant 2 years from now, and then all of a sudden that person's life changes, or they get inspired enough to give them that little bit of extra juice to take their life or their career to the next level. And that's what I want to accomplish here on YouTube. And so the more people we can get to watch these videos and to tune in, the more impact we can create for people. And that's what I want to do here. I'm not here to do fucking gear reviews or to get you guys to buy stuff or to like do paid ads, or like for any other reason. Like, this is my way of trying to be of service and create as much value for someone as possible. And we're going to try to keep it as authentic and raw and real and honest as possible. So we're going to be doing Q&As here. Like I said, we're going to be talking about various things, but we're going to keep it really raw, and we're going to keep it really, hopefully helpful to you guys and helpful to someone who might watch this later on. Moxitron said, I feel like everyone watching this wants to learn and evolve themselves in some way or another. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. And that's who I want to be here, right? You guys are here because you want to be here, and I appreciate that so much. And you know, you're here because you feel like you could gain some kind of value or get to know someone who could help, you know, take your career to the next level. And I want to open that up. I want to open up the floor to you guys. So go ahead and ask any questions you guys want. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to talk about things that aren't being talked about. I'm here to answer questions that aren't being answered, or questions that are being answered, but not in a way that's truly, truly helpful. And that's what I want to be for you guys, is just be here and be helpful to you. And I'm committing to this. So, I am sorry for damage. I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you for your comment. Basically saying, I feel the same way. Most of the streamers either have a too high of an ego or just trying to milk money out of their viewers. Yeah, of course. I mean, look, no knock to any of the YouTubers. I have a lot of respect. Well, I don't want to say that. I have a lot of, I want to give them props, because being a successful YouTuber is not easy. And there's a lot of effort that goes into creating a successful YouTube channel. It's a full-time job, you know, and I'm not a full-time, I have no interest in being like a full-time YouTuber. I'm a full-time music producer and I guess artist, entrepreneur, whatever other words. And a lot of you guys are too. So what I'm doing is taking my life experience and disclosing that here with you guys in this really raw conversational format every week, 3 times a week in the morning. And whatever value happens, right? I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but that's the whole point. So, you know, shout out to all the YouTubers that like have the hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers and putting out those really cool high quality videos. That's great. But I have no interest in doing any of that. So yeah, go ahead and ask a question, hit the bell icon, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get the YouTube algorithm going so we can get more people in here. And like I said, man, I anyone that's in here, all of you guys that are in here, you're here because you want to be here. And you want to extract some kind of value. And so that's what I'm here to do for you guys. So Noah is asking a question. Noah said, ooh, this is Miami vibes. Noah said, I got a mindset question. How can I avoid comparing myself to others, no matter what in life? Thank you for doing this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do actually is let me fix the chat widget, because I really want you guys to see. Okay, see how that's screwed up? So I really want you guys to like see the whole question. So I'm gonna just fix this chat widget really quickly. Hold on, I'm gonna go here. We're doing this live. Okay, see that? See this? Chat widget. Chat widget. Work with me, baby. Work with me. Work with me. Okay. So then we're going to put this here like that. Mr. Chat Widget. I wonder how that's going to look for a shorter question, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. See that? It's a little better, right? All right. So I want all of you guys to ask a question. It could be really everything and anything. Whatever mystery that you've been trying to solve, go ahead and ask. And I might have the answer. So let's get to Noah. Noah said, hey, Mind, I got a mindset question. How can I avoid comparing myself to others, no matter what in life? Thank you for doing this. You're welcome, Noah. I'm honored to be here. So comparison is really hard to avoid. And comparison is probably one of the worst things that you can do to yourself, is comparing yourself to other people. And that's why social media is so tricky, because Instagram, for instance, is the #1 culprit to why people compare themselves to other people. You can't help but do it. I do it. You guys do it. People that post on Instagram do it. Even extremely successful people on Instagram with millions of followers and hundreds of thousands of likes and comments also compare themselves to people that are even more successful, right? If you have 1 million followers on Instagram, you're comparing yourself to people that have 2 million or 4 million. You say, oh, I don't have enough. And then once you reach 4 million followers, you're comparing yourself to someone who has 10 million, right? 15 million. And then, you know, someone like Kim Kardashian, who's got what, 65, 75, 80 million followers, she's comparing herself to this person. So like, there's always going to be someone else out there that has more. And so as long as you keep comparing yourself, you're just going to be upset. It's not going to help you. It's not going to motivate you. You know, I think people have this misconception of thinking like, oh yeah, like if I want to compare myself because I want to use that as inspiration. Well, those are two different things, right? If you compare yourself to someone bigger or to someone, it just all depends on what you're telling yourself, right? That inner dialogue is really all that matters. So like, what are you telling yourself? Are you saying, oh, I suck because I only have 5,000 followers? Or are you saying, man, that person has 10,000. I know I can reach that. Let me use that as fuel and motivation to work harder and to create a standard for myself, right? So there's two different ways to look at it. And it really just depends on how you look at it. And I think that's extremely important, to be mindful of how you look at things and how that affects you as a person and how that affects you emotionally. For me personally, I find it extremely helpful to like minimize my consumption on social media. I've been doing this for many years, and I've been saying it for many, many years. And I know a lot of people have said it too, is put the phone away. When you're in the studio and you're creating, put the phone away. Put the phone away. And try to minimize your consumption and minimize your scrolling, because it's really going to get to you. It's really going to get to you. Newark Fed said, yesterday's chat was so on time. Got DM'd by an artist from Jersey I've been following lately. His engineer led him to me. Congrats, Newark Effect. Love it. See, that's what I love, man. Like, all of those little opportunities that might happen just from doing these streams is like, makes me happy. Like, that's my goal. That's my goal here. And so that's just a great example. That's awesome. Go ahead and ask questions, guys. I'm gonna try to get to as many as we can. Ron Tran, what up, Ron Tran? Ron Tran said, "Hey, Ill, I've been reading a lot of personal growth and mindset books. Do you have any that you recommend me reading?" Ikigai. Do I have it in front of me? Hold on. So there's a book that you can probably find at any bookstore or even at the airport. It's one of those like coffee table books. I can show you. So it's called the concept is called Ikigai. I usually have it in front of me, but I think I put it since I moved. I've lost a few, not lost things, but this book right here will be extremely helpful. Oh, see, it's not even available anymore. What the fudge? Fudge? I think the algorithm fucks with you if you curse too much. So I'm trying to minimize my cursing. Okay, okay, so here we go. Ikigai. This is a really cool book. And I think you guys should check this out. This is from Amazon. Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. Just such an amazing book, such an amazing concept. You know, everything and anything about this concept of Ikigai is so valuable and life altering. I don't want to get too much into the details of like what the concept is, but if you want to feel enlightened and refreshed in your life, and if you want to gain a perspective on what you're doing currently, what you want to do, this book will probably do that. Extremely powerful concept. The system of Ikigai has been around for thousands of years, derived from Japan. And it changed my life completely. This reminds me, I just reminded myself, I'm going to read it again. But if you do anything today, if there's one thing that you want to do to just try to do something different, to feel energized and to gain a different perspective on life and a different perspective on your creativity and what you're pursuing, please read this book. You can even Google search Ikigai. You can do your research. You can watch videos. This company and this book is not paying me to plug this. This is one of my favorite concepts and one of my favorite books of all time. And I super highly recommend it. So check that out. Melvin Flint, what up, dog? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you. Okay, K Knowledge said, if I'm putting out a beat tape, heavily samples an independent artist, should I copyright to own masters and key? Is that? Can I copyright to own my masters and key? I know what you're saying. I'm just fucking with you, bro. Here's my take on sample clearance. You from a legal standpoint, you have to clear samples. You have to. Here's the thing. If you use samples and you don't copyright them and you put them out on DSPs, and they get 100 plays or 1,000 streams or 5,000 streams, you don't have that much to worry about because no one cares. It's not generating enough income for anyone to care, to want to sue you. If they sue you, they'll pay more in legal fees than what the lawsuit entails because your song isn't really making that much money. So no one cares. But if you sample something and it starts to pick up some steam, 100,000 streams, 500,000 streams, 1 million streams, 2 million streams, 10 million streams, around those areas, then the original publishing companies that own whatever songs you sampled will most likely hear about it and will most likely come after you for their cut, including damages potentially. So it's a game of, do I know that this record will perform well? And if I choose not to clear this sample, I will hold myself accountable knowing that I'll have to pay the price later if my song blows up. That's all I have to say. BLAK Russia said, hey, Illmind, do you have your own VST yet? Nope. Not yet, but it's coming. Something's coming. I will say that. Christopher said, what's the biggest tip to finding better samples? Look everywhere. Look everywhere. Go to YouTube. Go to Instagram. Go to the record store. Go to blapkits.com. Go to this place. Go to this place. Look everywhere. There's so many. There's so many surrounding you. There's samples. There's an abundance of samples. And they're everywhere. Just look for them. Look for them. There's no secret. There's no like strategy. Just look for them. There's no secret sauce, right? The secret sauce is blapkits.com. But yeah, Kitsy Audio as well, obviously. Yeah. Copa said, do you think Boom Bap gonna make a comeback, or is it gone? Is it gonna stay in its own lane behind trap? Boom Bap. It's always going to exist, but what's trending, whatever trends at any given point in time in history goes in line with what makes people move the most. Okay? So throughout the history of music, the things that trend, that dominate the Hot 100 and the top 10 Billboard charts throughout history are always speaking in the language of how people want to move. Right? In the 70s, it was disco. right? You know, Nile Rodgers guitar. That's what people want to move to. Okay. Boom Bap is, you know, mid-tempo drum pattern. Okay. And there's a time and place for mid-tempo drum patterns. But there's only so much movement you can do to mid-tempo drum patterns. Okay? There's only so much vibration happening from mid-tempo drum patterns that I don't see that as being a global, super mainstream, super popular thing. And when you really, really think about it, it never really was. And listen, I come from Boom Bap. Like, I come from the school of J Dilla, Pete Rock, DJ Premier. Okay? Boom Bap never really vibrated. The vibration of Boom Bap never really went in line with the vibration of movement. Okay? Maybe in the 60s or the 70s, those James Brown breaks that Boom Bap sort of derived from, that was sort of a movement. But again, that was funk. That was funk. You had like you had vibration in there and movement, right? So it's everything's about movement. So currently, trap music is the vibration. Trap music has been the vibration that a lot of people are resonating with for obvious reasons. I mean, there's so much movement. There's so much vibration. I know I keep saying the same words. And so that's what we all have to be mindful of as producers, is what's going to make people move. And what does that feel like? What type of movement am I trying to create from that person, right? You always have to be mindful of stuff that's moving. Like trap music is bouncy, right? This guy's got that bounce. You never say that about Boom Bap. Yo, that Boom Bap got that bounce. No, I mean, it doesn't. Right? Boom Bap doesn't have that bounce. And if it does, it's not Boom Bap. Okay? And again, this is coming from my holy grail is Pete Rock, DJ Premier, J Dilla. That's my holy grail. So that's me saying this. Okay? So something to keep in mind. MG said, half the trap producers just mix and match pre-made loops from other sample packs. It is what it is. It's fine. No one cares about MG. Here's the thing, dude. You're not wrong. Here's the thing I want to say, MG. You're not wrong, okay? But no one cares. No one cares, MG. You care, and people that are interested in arguing the integrity or process of music making care. But it's a, what do they say? It's a moot point. Moot, M-O-O-T, moot point. It kind of leads to nothing, right? It leads to a conclusion that's completely irrelevant to relevance, space, and time. It's a conversation that where its conclusion is completely irrelevant to human, space, time, and life. Because we can sit here and argue till the ends of the earth about stuff like this. And it leads to literally nothing. I mean, it'll lead to someone just saying that you suck. Right, MG? I'm just trying to make a point. I'm glad you brought this up, MG. And so it's really what it ends up being is just gossip. It really just ends up being gossip. That's why a lot of these things I used to care about, but as I get older and as I start learning more and realizing more, I realize that a lot of certain things that we used to care about or certain things that we do care about in the producer community are just straight up completely irrelevant to time and space. You understand? So you're not wrong, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. K Knowledge said, as an independent artist running my own LLC, it would be smarter to not sample so I can own my work without hassle. Right? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I mean, I don't want to say don't sample. I say sample to the ends of the earth. I love sampling. As long as you know you can clear it. As long as you know that you can clear it. Right? So these days, if I'm going to sample something and I'm not sampling myself, I'm probably sampling someone that is part of my squad. Right? And if I'm not sampling someone that's part of my squad, I'm probably sampling something from my Platinum Club members or from you guys that are monthly members, starting that up. Because there's a level of trust and there's a level of, okay, I know how to clear that. I have direct contact with the person. I trust that, this person that's sending me samples are sending me samples that are completely original, that they compose and they're clearable, and I won't have to go through any hassles. And so those are the sources that I personally sample from. So to answer your question, I would say no, it's not smart to not sample, but it would be smart to, if you are going to sample, to know that you won't run into friction while trying to clear that sample. Understood? B Barber said, you get major placements with and constant public support from a major artist on multiple projects, yet producing music for a great living still doesn't happen. What does one do now? So is that a scenario that you're proposing? Let me see if I can understand this. So you get major placements with a consistent public support from a major artist on multiple projects, yet producing music for a great living still does not happen. What does one do now? Okay, I understand what you're saying. So it's a scenario, I guess. What you do is you make sure you have a good lawyer and you keep going. That's what you do. You make sure you have a good lawyer and then you just never stop. And you take advantage of whatever relationships that you have and whatever momentum you have, and you keep it, right? The biggest challenge is not to gain success. The biggest challenge is when you become successful, how do you stay successful? Okay? It's not super difficult to become successful. But how do you stay successful? How do you keep it? How do you maintain that success? That's the hard part. You hear stories all the time about people, I was on a regimen and I worked out and I lost like 100 pounds, right? and they get into shape and they're in the best shape of their life, and then they gain it all back. They couldn't maintain it, right? That's why diets don't really work. I'm not a nutritionist, my wife is, but diets don't work because you do it and it's temporary, and then all of a sudden you stop, right? So the biggest challenge in this industry is when you do become successful, how do you keep it, right? And I have a few ideas. For that. One is evolving, constantly evolving. Another is staying curious, right? The more curious you are, the more things you'll explore, which keep things interesting and also allow for you to gain some new skill sets, right? So staying curious, trying new things, not being afraid to try new things, that'll keep you relevant. And following up, maintaining relationships with people like a normal human being, right? None of this stuff is super complicated. A lot of it is just simple things, obvious things that you just need to do. And once you start doing them, you start to get a little momentum and you start to feel like, okay, yeah, like I can do this, right? So those are some big factors to stay relevant. You know, if you look at my career, I've been able to do this for 20 years, right? The first 6-8 years were the building stages, right? But to be able to still be here and to still do this is something I'll never take for granted and something that I'm super thankful for. But I've been able to do that, right? So longevity is a big thing. You know, you're not going to be 20 forever. You're not going to be 30 forever, right? And this is nothing new. I'm not saying anything new. This is all stuff that's been out there, stuff that's been talked about. You guys have seen examples of this. Longevity. Bufo said gossip gets around quick. Very true. RJC producer said, what DAW do you use? You know RJC. It rhymes with treason. Treason. It rhymes with treason. Highland Music said, what do you think about drill? Is it the new hip hop or a simple variant? There's no such thing as a new hip hop, right? I mean, it is hip hop. It's hip hop. It's part of hip hop. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I dig it. I definitely dig it. Yeah. You know? Definitely dig it. I like it. Listen to the Kid said, do you think email marketing is king as far as reaching customers online? Yeah. Email is still very, very effective. Email is still very effective. Copa said, so breakdance never existed and there's Boom Bap club songs. Trust me, dude. I'm Filipino and I'm from New Jersey. My whole childhood was breakdance culture. If you were Filipino, a little fun fact, if you were a Filipino from the East Coast, or specifically from Jersey, you did one of two things. You either danced, you were a breakdancer, or you were a DJ, or you did both. All the cool kids did both, right? All the cool and talented kids did both. They DJ'd and they danced, right? Pop locking, break dancing, all that stuff. So that being said, obviously the first question I'm assuming is you guys know the obvious answer to. And there's Boom Bap club songs. Yeah, there are, for sure. But it never became a huge mainstream thing as much as other things did, right? And that's not to discredit it, obviously. But there were, and there will be more, but in terms of vibration, it's meant for something else. It's meant for something else. Boom Bap is not meant for a club. Now, one could argue that, like, maybe some of Dr. Dre's club hits are Boom Bap. Maybe some of 50 Cent's stuff are categorized as Boom Bap. That's why it's so subjective. You can blur those lines, right? In the club. Was in the club Boom Bap? Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Go shorty. It's your birthday. Was that Boom Bap? Some people say it is. So, you know. I hope you guys know what I'm saying, though. So Anush said, do you break dance? I used to. I wasn't. So the thing about me was I danced a little bit. I DJ'd a little bit. My uncle was a DJ. Like I was introduced to hip hop. First introduced to hip hop through my uncle. My uncle was a DJ. So he was the cool guy. He was the cool guy with the crates, with the DJ equipment, with the records and the parties. That was my uncle, right? So he introduced me to that, but I took a liking to production. I took a liking to, okay, well, the music that the DJs are playing is awesome, and the dancers that are dancing to the music is awesome. I want to know how to make the music. Like, I want to make people move. I want to make the music that DJs play, right? I want to. So that's what I took a liking to. Bufo said, "Why do you think karaoke is so big in Asia?" Good question. I think that Asia has a large interest in American pop culture, and one large component of American pop culture is American pop music. And so the idea of singing along to your favorite American pop song is extremely entertaining and appealing for a lot of people that are in Asia, and especially the Philippines, right? Like, I don't know, shout out to all my Filipinos in here. You know, I'm Filipino if you didn't get the memo, but it's karaoke is huge in our culture. You go to family parties, they do the karaoke. If you go to the Philippines, there's karaoke bars everywhere. People do karaoke. It's like a big thing. I just think it's enjoyable. They just find joy in the fact that they're singing along to music. You know, everyone loves karaoke. You know, it's just become part of like the DNA of like certain Asian countries, you know. Highland Music said, what do you think of the beats that have 2 or 3 parts from other genres? So what happens to people who are looking for something specific? I mean, a genre in particular, ruin your branding. That's a really loaded question, but I think I understand what you're saying. And what I would say to that is, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever concerns you have with that are irrelevant. Doesn't matter. No one cares. King Chef Los once again said, what advice can you give producers on finding mentors or putting themselves in an environment surrounded with other creative people who can inspire and help excel their production skills? Well, for one, I'll say that that's exactly what my NFT project is, Squad of Knights. I will say that. Because essentially the Knights are being mentored by me to a certain extent, as much as they can, but also they're surrounded by their peers and they're rewarded and encouraged to get to know each other, to communicate with each other, to work with each other, to collaborate with each other. And we create all these cool games and ways to earn by doing that. And so we're gamifying exactly what your question is through my Squad of Knights NFT. So all of the musicians that are members and holders of my Squad of Knights are that's exactly one of our goals, and that's basically our main goal. So that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. The second thing is, so yeah, my piece of advice would be to become part of Squad of Knights. And again, I'm plugging it because it makes sense here. That being said, finding a mentor is really a tough thing, because for every one mentor, there's, let's just say, 100 people that want to be mentored by that one person. And no one person has the energy or time to mentor 100 people, right? When I think of mentorship, I think of one-on-one, very intimate, very exclusive, very customized, and that individual is literally mentoring that person. That's like, Qui-Gon mentoring Obi-Wan. That's Obi-Wan mentoring Vader, right? It's a one-on-one thing that's concentrated. And that's a huge ordeal. It's a huge ordeal. So mathematically speaking, it's actually almost impossible. It's actually almost impossible, physically and mathematically, to successfully find a mentor where you can set up a situation where you have a mentor. It's just mathematically almost impossible. So the alternative is to, what I like to say, be mentored from afar. So what does mentored from afar mean? Well, you could consider someone a mentor without that person ever meeting you, right? So for me, for instance, I consider Jay Dilla a mentor. Not because he mentored me, and not even because we had a personal relationship. I met him twice, and as a kid, I just always was obsessed with his music and fascinated by it, to the point where I studied all of his music. I literally obsessed over his entire catalog, from Donuts to Slum Village Volume 1 to all the Busta Rhymes stuff, to all the, obscure beat tapes and everything in between. I did that. And so I studied his music. And so because of that, I looked at him as a mentor, because I was literally studying everything he was doing, and so I was able to extract an effective learning experience just by studying his music. And again, I'll name someone else, Seth Godin, right? I mentioned Seth Godin a lot. Seth Godin is a really groundbreaking speaker, bestseller, and a marketer. And I consider him a mentor. I've never met him in my life. I never took any of his courses, but I read his books and I've listened to his podcast, and I've learned so much from him that I consider him a mentor. So he's mentoring me from afar. So again, that's would be my piece of advice in terms of mentoring, is if you're not able to find someone who can directly mentor you, then mentor from afar. And I do understand that I am, a mentor to you, some of you guys. RJC, I appreciate that. I understand my position. I understand that a lot of you guys consider me a mentor, and I'm flattered by that. I'm honored. I'm super excited and humbled by being able to play that role for you guys. And so as long as I can mentor you guys from afar, and the content and conversations we have and the stuff that I do for you guys is helping, then I'm okay with that position. And I want to continue that position for you guys. And hopefully meet some of you guys at some point in the future. And, I'm doing it through my Squad of Nights NFT. We're doing it in Web3, but we're also doing it here on YouTube. We do it through my music. We do it through the live streams, and any other thing that I decide to do, and put out into the world is a form of mentorship. And I'm here for it. And all that I ask is that you guys put this stuff to use, right? Don't just sit here and consume and then not do anything, right? My goal in terms of YouTube here is to give you that little nudge and to just give you that that extra juice that you need, that you've been looking for, to help you take that next step, right? And that's why we're doing these conversations. And I'm hoping that some kid 5 years from now will look back and run into this video, or run into tomorrow's video, or run into yesterday's video, and see something interesting and gain some kind of perspective and move forward from that. So that's why we're doing this here on YouTube. So we did this for an hour today. This is great. Okay. So hit the like, hit the subscribe button, become a monthly member if you want to take this to the next level. I have some really cool things for my monthly guys and girls and people. But I really appreciate you being here. Everyone that's new here, thank you. We're doing this every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So our next stream is tomorrow. And then we're going to do a sample auction on Friday. I'll tell you guys more about that tomorrow. But for now, amazing stream. Go back and watch the other ones too, if you missed them, because we talked about some good stuff. So shout out to everyone in here. Shout out to my Squatter Knights, my monthly members, my IPCs, everyone, man. Everyone, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get the YouTube algorithm going and get some more views on this. Like I said, I'm building this from scratch, real raw with you guys. No budgets, no paid this, paid that. It's all just, let's just go. Let's just dive right in. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out of here. To all my Blap gods, we out. Peace.
Any opportunity to celebrate, it's always diamonds up.